Welcome, thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, we are making authentic Colombian empanada. I want to thank all the ladies that came together for us to make this recipe. Thank you, Miss Pamela, for letting us turn your house upside down. Thank you, Miss Marianne, Miss Isabella. Thank you, Joy, Caitlin, Neraya, and Nadine. Thank you, Bro Sebastian, for helping us so much to make this amazing recipe. And a special thanks to Mama Norma for sharing your heart and your recipe with us, your time. We really appreciate you for this opportunity to learn this recipe with you. Thank you so much. So what you want to do first is we wash our potatoes and we cook them whole. After that, you let it cool down and we peel the skin off. We chop it into smaller pieces and we have our rice cooked. We are transferring that into a bowl. After which we are going to be mixing the cooked rice and the chopped cooked potatoes together, and this is the part of the filling. So this video is going to be in 3 parts. We are going to make the filling, the dough, and also the sauce. Now we have our cooked beef. You can use chicken as well. We are using beef. We will shred it into smaller pieces, and this is our cooked egg and also part of the sauce. We are going to be making 2 different sauces. So we'll add the cooked egg to the rice and potato and mix everything together. We added some salt, and this is the star of the show. This is the mixed spice that makes all the difference. We are going to be adding some of these onto the beef broth, and we'll be adding it onto the potato, the egg, and also the rice. We'll also be using part of that dry spice or seasoning to add to this filling later on to give it a nice yellow color. So we are adding some of the broth with the seasoning to the potato, the rice, and the egg. You want to soak it enough so it gives a lot of flavor, and we'll mix everything together gently, making sure you are not breaking the potatoes and the rice and everything too much. After this part, we are going to be chopping green onions and garlic, and we are going to be cooking it in a little bit of oil so it's a little more like a sauce to give it. So it smells so good. So we are going to be cooking this in a little bit of oil, and we'll add it to the potato, rice, and the eggs. So we added a little bit of oil into the pan, and we transfer the chopped green onions and also the garlic, and we are going to be cooking this for about 5 minutes on medium-low heat. This will bring out all the nice aroma in the garlic and the onions to add to our filling. So just stir and cook, don't let it burn. After which we have added some seasoning to the potato that gives that a little bit of yellow color. I missed that part of the video, and we added the garlic and the onions to the potato. Now we are adding the shredded beef together with everything and mix it nicely. This is the fun part, and I'm telling you, this right here tastes so good. You can just eat it, pick it up and eat by itself. It was amazing. I have to hold myself so I don't finish eating the whole filling. Now moving on, we are going to make the dough. We are using this white cornmeal, and we are adding part of the beef broth as well, and we'll be adding some warm water. That warm water contains the seasoning again. So that seasoning is very important. If you don't have that, this seasoning, if you don't have that, you cannot make this recipe. So that is very important. This water is lukewarm or warm water. I'm just going to be adding this a little bit in bit for Mama Norma to make the dough. And you don't want to add too much water at once. You want to add gradually, and this is the texture of dough you will want. Now we are ready. Once our dough is done, we are ready to put everything together to make our famous empanada. It was so good, I'm not lying. So now this is the fun part, and I think this part is the most time consuming. So you can just put the dough on the rubber like that, and we are using this wooden mold to make the shape that we wanted. So you can just spread like this like mama is doing, and we are going to be adding the filling. You don't want to add too much filling, so when you close it's going to be difficult for you to close, but add enough so your empanada is very rich with filling. And we are going to be closing it. You can also use your rolling pin, roll the dough on the rubber, put the filling in, close it, and use a cup or any round shape to cut to have this crescent shape. That will be another option if you don't have the wooden mold to make this. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. You can just use your hand and take the excess dough off like mama is doing, or you can use the wooden rolling pin like this, put it back on the mold, fill it up, close it, and you can also use a knife to cut the excess dough off. And you can also use like a round shape to cut the shape like this if you don't have the wooden mold. And after molding all this, we made about 146 empanadas. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. And we have a lot of hands helping, so it was a lot more easier, and it was so much fun making this with everybody. Now that we finished molding everything, it's going to be time for us to start frying our empanadas. Now you want to add your oil to your frying pan or wherever you are going to fry. You want to test your oil for readiness. You put a little bit of dough in it to see first.
What? It came up.
Ready. It's ready when it does
ready.
that.
See?
So once you put your little dough in, you let it it will float back to you and float on top. That is how you know the oil is ready for frying. So we are just going to be frying this in bit until we are done frying. This is the first batch. It looks amazing. The whole house smells so good. And we'll continue to fry until we fry all our 146 pieces of empanadas. As we are frying, we'll start making our sauce. So the sauce is what we are going to be using to eat. We are going to make two types. We are going to make one that is going to be a little hot or spicy with hot pepper, and we are going to make a mild one or one with no pepper at all. So now Mama Norma is just chopping the things, and Miss Isabella is also chopping. We chop the pepper first. This is the cilantro. You want to chop it like this into very, very tiny pieces. And this is the tomato. She's chopping the tomato as well. Miss Isabella did an amazing job chopping all this to make this delicious sauce. And you just want to do this like she's doing, chop nicely into tiny bits, and we are going to be adding all the tomato, the cilantro, and the green onions into a big bowl to make our dipping sauce. The sauce was so good, it tastes so good, and you can also use this sauce to eat rice. I use it for rice eating, what was amazing. The onions, the cilantro, the tomato, we put all into a bigger bowl. We added some salt. Mama Norma is making the sauce now. She added some salt, and she will give everything a good stir, making sure that the salt is up to taste. You can add the salt to your taste. After which she'll be adding some vinegar to cover the sauce about halfway, and we'll stir it very well, and she will be diluting that with a little bit of water. After adding some water, she will also add a dash of oil, just a teeny tiny, and everything will be stirred together nicely. and this smells so good. Our sauce is ready and it's now time to eat. Let's party. These empanadas were so good. It was my first time enjoying them and they were amazing. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.